I'm Crystal DiMiceli, and welcome to the Forces for Nature show. Do you find yourself overwhelmed with all the doom and gloom you hear of these days? Do you feel like you, as just one person, can't really make a difference? Forces for Nature cuts through that negativity. In each episode, I interview someone who is working to make the world more sustainable and humane. Join me in learning from them and get empowered to take action so that you too can become a force for nature. Hey there, it's just me today. After a powerful series of conversations recorded live at the EarthX Conference in Dallas, Texas during Earth Month last year, I wanted to take a beat to reflect with you on what I heard, what I felt, and what I'm carrying forward. If you've been following this season, thank you. These episodes came out of a whirlwind few days where I had the chance to sit down with changemakers from all walks of life: innovators, business leaders, financiers, nonprofit founders, and creatives. And they were all gathered in one place. That place was EarthX, one of the largest environmental conferences in the world. It's a rare space where stakeholders from across industries, and often across ideologies, come together not just to share ideas, but to listen and learn from each other. There's something powerful about that. And there's another EarthX conference coming up soon. So if you've been intrigued by what you've heard on this series, maybe it's your turn to experience it in person. Across all the interviews, a few themes kept rising to the surface. First, urgency and clarity. There's no sugarcoating where we are in this moment, environmentally or politically. Nearly every guest spoke with a clear-eyed awareness that we're facing compounding crises. But what struck me was how none of them stopped at despair. That urgency became fuel for action, not paralysis. Second, collaboration over silos. Whether it was a corporate leader working with Indigenous communities or scientists partnering with educators and artists, so many of these stories weren't about lone heroes. They were about networks, about people finding each other and realizing that we can get so much further when we don't go it alone. And third, hope with substance. Not fluffy optimism, but grounded hope. Hope because people are building things, changing systems, repairing relationships with the natural world and with each other. There was also something about being in that room at EarthX that's hard to capture on a recording. You can feel the electricity of unlikely alliances forming, the side conversations that sparked new ideas, the shared breakfast debates between people who might disagree on a lot, but care deeply about the future. That kind of proximity changes things. And it reminded me that solutions don't always come from being quote unquote right. Sometimes they come from being present, from listening, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Some of the most meaningful conversations I witnessed were between people who don't vote the same way or who approach environmental work with different values or priorities, but they still showed up to the table. They listened, they asked questions, and sometimes they realized they were aiming for the same goal, even if their paths looked really different. That matters, especially right now when it can feel easier to retreat into our own corners. But we don't make progress by only talking to people who already agree with us. We need to be able to hold space for complexity, to find common ground, and to work with unlikely allies when the stakes are high. For me, one big takeaway is that it's okay to hold complexity. In fact, it's necessary. We can feel disheartened by gridlock and still believe that transformation is possible. We can criticize broken systems while celebrating the people pushing within them to create change. We can be tired, but not give up. And we can be skeptical of someone's methods while still sharing their mission. That's not weakness, it's maturity. It's what this moment is asking of us. The conversations in this series reminded me that even when things feel stuck, there's movement happening, often behind the scenes and often in unexpected places. And all this that I'm saying is sometimes Many times. So much easier said than done. I'm not gonna lie. I've been a little down and out these last 6 months, unable to take my own advice and live the lessons learned that I just mentioned. My heart was breaking on a daily basis at the cruel, destructive upending of so many social and environmental headways that we've made over the decades. The strategy of shock and overwhelm worked so well at its intention, paralyzed those that oppose. I was, figuratively, curled up in a corner, even afraid to tell people what I do for fear of being labeled as a radical greenie. Because caring about people and planet feels like it's become an extremist point of view. I was conscious of what was happening, but it's taken me only until recently to pick myself back up. And since I always say there's hope in action, I'm taking action. I've been trained as a facilitator in something called Climate Fresque. I did one back in November, which you may remember if you follow me on social or receive my newsletter. Climate Fresque is a game that was developed in France and now has gone global. It's a fun, interactive workshop that helps people understand the causes and consequences of climate change in just a few short hours. It's based on the latest IPCC reports, and it turns complex data into a collaborative, game-like experience using cards, creativity, and group discussion. My favorite part is talking about solutions in the end and really seeing people have some aha moments. I'm scheduling fresques anywhere anyone will take me. And I've also created an hour-long workshop that is a teaser into a larger climate action program that I created. I'm working out the kinks right now with some very sweet, supportive friends, but I'll let you know when it's up and running. Maybe you'll want to participate. So between the fresques and my online workshops, I'll be keeping myself busy these next few months. And on a personal note, some home remodeling, freelance work, and a family trip will also be filling my time. I'm committed to being more present with my email list, so sign up if you'd like to stay connected until the next season kicks off, which, speaking of, I'm figuring that out right now. I think it should be out around August, give or take. So as we close out this EarthX series, instead of leaving you with suggestions on what you can do, I want to ask you a few questions. Maybe they can help, especially if you too are feeling the weight of this political and environmental moment. What gives you hope right now? Not in theory, but in practice. What are you seeing that reminds you that change is possible? Where can you choose curiosity over cynicism? Maybe once you learn the reason for something, it won't seem so bad. Who might you collaborate with, even if you don't agree on everything? Can you engage in a conversation with someone, quote unquote, on the other side? Not to win an argument, but to build understanding? And what's one small way you can stay connected? To nature, to community, or to purpose, when the big picture feels overwhelming? I'm reflecting on these questions, and I hope you'll consider them too. And I'd love to hear your answers. I read every email or message that I receive, so please do respond. Thank you for listening and being a part of this journey. The EarthX series reminded me how powerful it is when people come together with openness, urgency, and a shared love for this planet. And thank you for all that you do. You're making a difference. Don't forget to go to forcesfornature.com and sign up to receive emailed show notes, action tips, and a free checklist to help you start taking practical actions today. Do you know someone else who would enjoy this episode? I would be so grateful if you would share it with them. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook at Becoming Forces for Nature and let me know what actions you have been taking. Adopting just one habit could be a game changer, because imagine if 1 million people also adopted that. What difference for the world are you going to make today?